the concerns were real because we honestly, I mean, I personally thought that the game would be launching somewhere in February next year just to have enough space for the season 4 to kick in and also have the alpha and beta cycles, you know, have testers going around and feedback in, because they did start off on a good ass track where they did the community council, they took feedback from there, they are more open on talking to 3D crafters and creators and whatnot, and that's good science. Bună dimineața, Cosmin. So the thing is, what kind of I would say relaxed our concerns regarding this whole conundrum is that yesterday VentureBeat posted an article where they announced that Blizzard is acquiring Proletariat Studios, and that means I would say a pool of talented folks. I think it's around 100 people over there. So right off the back, 100 more people directly being put on to work for World of Warcraft. The main gist of it is that they want to have a much faster cadence on patches. But if they acquired it now, it's basically, okay, starting from Monday, you guys are working on Dragonflight. That's no question, right? Because, you know, the investments have been made.
Yeah.
Now, let me let me tell you a little bit about Proletariat. So they started off, I think, in 2012. They did a couple of mobile games back then. I think it was also a mobile game MMO. They were really I would say praised for their transparency and communication with their player base. They didn't make too much of an impact over there. They just did a couple of mobile games, but when the battle royale genre kind of kicked in, and you know, everybody and their mom was doing battle royales and shit.
Remember the times?
Yeah, I mean, they're still popular, don't get me wrong, but there was a time like 2017, 2018, that was like the oversaturated market, right? That's when Proletariat Games decided to make a battle royale called Spellbreak, which was very different from the other ones because they decided to make it in a fantasy universe, right? So that was like the only battle royale that included magic and basically battle mages. It was all about battle mages with different spells. The coolest thing about that was the fact that you could get these gauntlets in the game, and gauntlets would mean like different schools of spells or different elements of spells, and you can combine them. That was like super neat. And you had, for example, you would get some gauntlets of fire and get some gauntlets of air, and you would have separate abilities, air and fire, and then you could combine them and make like a fire tornado or something. And
I like it when they do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was pretty amazing. So the fact that they took this team to work directly on WoW. I'm not saying you're going to do fire tornadoes in WoW as a fire mage, baby. Or as an elemental
Evoker, like we don't know what's going to happen.
But no, listen, the thing is, they are bringing in 100 more people from that team directly to work on World of Warcraft starting probably Monday. And this means, in my humble logic, that whatever problems they could have had in terms of like workforce and talent pool, and you've seen a lot of jobs listed on the Blizzard careers page, a lot of them for World of Warcraft. Now that is, I would say, very, very minimized to solve. I would dare say it's solved, because having 100 more people working on all aspects of the game just means that the delivery, the speed on which to implement changes, feedback, and bugs and fix bugs will be very, very, I would say, efficient, high. As opposed to what we had moving from Legion to BFA, and especially moving from BFA to Shadowlands. We all know how Shadowlands content cadence was about. You know, very slow,
no secret now.
There were bad events all around. Good morning, Drevanar. Good morning, Professor Pearl. What up? What up? Greetings,
morning, everybody.
Bonjour, Professor Pearl. So it's all around good news, as much as Flame was concerned, and I was concerned as well. You know, reading the news on vacation and stuff, seeing that the game was actually being launched this year, we are a lot more at ease with all of this.
That's what
Flame, do you have thoughts on this? I have more thoughts, but I'm not just gonna talk by myself here.
That's what I've been saying, right? Because we didn't have all the information going into this when initially it was announced. So all we had to go by were previous beta cycles and how things were, because to be fair, like, we don't know exactly the Team 2 size and exactly what staff they have and so on and so forth. All we know is that through the course of the last couple of expansions, there have been budget cuts and staff cuts left and right, so that's no surprise. Everybody knows that. Everybody remembers, even though it wasn't all in the dev team, hundreds and hundreds of people being laid off in Blizzard, in BFA, and moving into Shadowlands as well. So the new, obviously, in the last year, there's been acquisitions of new workforce, new people into the dev team. That's, again, nothing new. We knew about it. But that was only going to just, bring it back to normal levels. Hiring an entire new department, entire new studio to merge it into, especially a studio that has some experience, is very reassuring. I mean, sure, we don't know anything yet. I mean, we still have to see how it all plans out. And it's interesting because this is like 180 from what they were doing so far, like budget cuts and trying to minimize production costs and maximize gains. And now they're just like more workforce, more to do more shit. And I mean, Mike Ibarra and John Hyde had some quotes. We'll probably get to them in a minute as well. It's reassuring, man, because it definitely shows a change in mentality. Definitely shows that, all right, we thought this through. This is not the same. This is not corporate telling us to, let's push the release date. We need to put it into this the last 2022 queue. So
no. So you mentioned something that we don't know as of yet. Like, well, what will this mean? But what we do know is what Spellbreak, the game Proletariat made, was actually like and how it worked out. So it was pretty successful on Steam, and it garnered like a pretty, I would say, decent audience. Right now, the game is not supported, and it hasn't been supported for, I would say, the last year. What I could dig up on this is that the fact that they got into some financial trouble during the COVID pandemic, and it was very weird for their audience, because even with Spellbreak, they maintained that transparency and communication with the player base. The thing about, so the only, I would say, criticism I saw regarding Spellbreak in its lifetime, okay, was the fact that a lot of the players actually enjoying the game wanted more maps and more gauntlets and champions. Because it was like if you're gonna do fantasy stuff, you're gonna want like more classes. That's like natural. Sure. They didn't do that, and I think Spellbreak launched in January 2021 or something like that, or 2020. Not very sure, but regardless, it's people who are really big into fantasy stuff. Again, they did a fantasy battle royale. This doesn't mean we're gonna have WoW battle royale. No, we're just gonna have some talented motherfuckers help out with Dragonflight, which I think it's for the better. I mean, we can talk about previous beta cycles and alpha cycles, and Flame mentioned that that there's definitely a change in mentality. We kind of saw this after the events of, I think it's a year almost, like since the event started last summer.
I
with
think it was
the lawsuit
somewhere in July, but yeah, it's coming up to a year.
This is the thing, right? And since then, there has been a lot of changes, and we saw it especially because we'd be like, well, day in, day out with the game and the happenings over there. Also trying to be a little bit in contact with some people involved within Blizzard, and it's definitely something different, some different air going on. And again, it's not like we wish to, or it's not copium, is what we kind of interact with on a daily basis. Mike Ibarra basically is leaning towards more the idea of, okay, we really want to have a lot less time between patches, right? So I'm just gonna read it off of here. Mike Ibarra is the president of Blizzard Entertainment, okay? So he said, we are putting players at the forefront of everything we do, and we are working hard to both meet and exceed their expectations. A big part of caring for our teams is making sure we have the resources to produce experiences our communities will love, while giving our teams space to explore even more creative opportunities within their projects. Proletariat is a perfect fit for supporting Blizzard's mission and bringing high quality content to our players more often. Now, again, this is, very general PR thing, but one idea you can get out of this is the fact that, okay, they want to once again get back to that, I would say, Blizzard quality stuff, but on a more efficient time ladder. Because back in the day when Blizzard could never do no wrong, they were really late with the launches, okay?
Yeah, and I think it's been a while since they've made a public statement about increasing the rate at which they put out content. if
I
I
don't
recall.
think they ever did, to be honest.
I remember in Legion. No. They did it in the last time I actually remember. I don't know if I've missed it since then, but I remember at the beginning of Legion, Ian said something that we want a patch every year. Isn't that how Legion started? They wanted a patch like a new expansion every year, right? So that would mean the cadence of content would be way.
That didn't work out.
Yeah, but I mean that's the last time because they said something stupid and are like, oh shit, we just said something. We're not gonna say anything again, and that was like what 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and now they're coming out again to say it's like this. These kinds of public statements are not really said lightly, especially by the president of the company.
No, but yeah, that's different. When Ian said that, he was the game director, and he didn't came out and said, "Hey, listen, we're getting 100 more people," and this is like, because it was not like Blizzard who came out and said this, was VentureBeat, right? And the VentureBeat contacted Mike and everybody and got statements from everybody. Another cool I would say press info is from John Haidt, who is I think is game director now, or is he game director? No, it's general manager. No, game director is still Ian. Sorry. Yeah. So John Haidt said like this: as you probably are aware, folks in World of Warcraft have a voracious appetite for content. That is true, John. And what we've seen over the last year is that we need to increase the amount of content that we can create and the frequency with which we're putting it in the hands of our players. That's one of the things that made the decision easy for us to start working with Proletariat, as they have a large remote workforce. So again, the idea that they want to deliver content at a faster pace. Out of all of the info from the folks, there's also the Seth Sivek, who I think is like the lead from Proletariat,
the CEO.
And he had to say this I think was the most important thing. So Spellbreak, that was the game they created, was a critical success, and we felt we really delivered something fresh in a battle royale genre. That is true. There was no battle royale with like spells and magic and all of that. There is a lot of competition in the area where you're competing with some of the biggest games in the world. Well, yeah, they had to compete with Fortnite and PUBG and all of that. We just couldn't get the escape velocity necessary for us to continue to expand it. Plus, he doesn't mention it here but they had some financial trouble. Now, as we looked at where the next chapter was going to be for Proletariat, this opportunity just meant that we could accelerate what we wanted to do. Being able to work for the World of Warcraft audiences is really awesome, and the level of ambition on where I think both teams want to take World of Warcraft is incredibly exciting for us. This is like very important. And the last bit, the really exciting part is what we're going to build going forward. That was the real selling point for us, the level of ambition for what we want to do with World of Warcraft. So this, I would say this would imply that new shit, new ideas. I would say maybe I'm not gonna go for the fire tornado, but listen. They're gonna take some people who had some really cool ideas within their own game, and from what it appears from this statement, it seems like both of the teams, like the existing WoW team, Team 2, and the Proletariat team, are kind of on the same page on bringing something else to World of Warcraft.
I mean, Spellbreak is a good evidence of that, right? Considering that in the Battle Royale genre, they did a Battle Royale game with spells and gauntlets and stuff, which is like, what even is this? So it's clear that they have the creativity and originality to do stuff like this, and putting this into WoW, where WoW has been kind of consistently bland for the past couple of expansions. Like after Legion, which Legion was like, oh shit, we get this, and after Legion was like, BFA was like 20 to 30% of Legion. Shadowlands is 20 to 30% of Legion with a couple of more annoyances. So they could never really revolutionize. Like I mentioned last time, they've really set a high bar for themselves with Legion, and it was really gonna be hard to come back from that, because you have to have something exciting after that. So this could be what we've been waiting for.